And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition, another month of the LiuLi Cup number 38. I'm, of course, just VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Oh my god, just realized something. There we go. Welcome one and all to another monthly LiuLi Cup tournament. For those that are curious, this is a tournament that runs on a regular basis. Shout out to LiuLi, or shout out to Saber for hosting and for running the event. This is an invitational, and every single time the format is a little bit different. Sometimes it's a best of 9, sometimes it's an 8-player single elimination bracket, sometimes 4-player, sometimes double elimination, sometimes round robin, sometimes GSL group. They do like to mess with the format, have some fun, and mess around with it. And this month we have something different. We have a 4-player single elimination bracket ready for us. Let us go as we switch our scenes over and catch up on today's broadcast. From the top, we have 4 players. We have Scarlet versus Jeshi, and we have GuMiho versus Lancer. We're going to be featuring 2 Protoss players from the Chinese region, alongside GuMiho, alongside Scarlet as well. And I've been excited here to cover this for one big reason. Scarlet, she has not competed in a very long time. Scarlet has been on hiatus. Scarlet has been taking a break alongside many other players, to be fair. A lot of players have been taking a break from the game, especially leading into and until the announcement of EWC. But Scarlet marks her return for the first time in a long time, and I'm curious to see if this is the beginning of something different here, if this is the beginning of Scarlet's comeback, right? I'm excited to see if she comes back for DreamHack Dallas, for example, for the EWC qualifiers. How much is Scarlet going to return in, or just for some show matches here and there? Curious. Let's go. Let's find out. Let us find out. Now, of course, we have our 2 best of 5s, so I should also emphasize that as well. The initial rounds are going to be best of 5s, and the finals are going to be a best of 7. So we do have less series, that is true, but we have some hefty series back here. There's going to be a lot of games here to be played, a lot of games to indulge in. If you see the title of the stream, it does say, or at least when we went live, Kanoya show matches. Depending on how fast or how slow these matches are, depending on how much time we have afterwards, we might also cover some of the Kanoya show matches. Specifically, Björn and Special had a TvT show match, and we also had Björn and Creator as well in TvP. They also had their own best of 5s that we do have replays of. They played last week, or even less than a week ago at this point. But again, I'm tempted to jump into them if we have enough time after this. It does depend. It does depend on the length of the broadcast. I know that recently I've been trying to take things a little bit easier here, just slow some things down and have some more time to just take a breather and take a break. So we'll see. We shall see. For now, though, we're jumping into our first series. We're going to be jumping into GuMiho versus Lancer up first in the Terran versus Protoss. Let's go. Hello, Werehugs in the chat. I see Baby Links. I see Werehugs. I see Sinistro and Laser Chrononauts as well. Bienvenidos as we are jumping into our fresh best of 5 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Lancer, aka Cyan, and spawning in the top right hand corner we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. It is GuMiho. We go. But again, over the course of the weekend, we do have a lot to go over, a lot to indulge in. I know that GSL was last night as well. Yeah, I've yet to go over the GSL matches myself, as of course we are going to be casting those matches next week. So that's also something to look forward to, is going over and covering GSL. We'll do our best to try to bring it to you like as quickly as possible after the fact, after the events take place themselves. We'll be on that. Until then, we're settling in. Until then, we do have initial openers here. Double gas out of GuMiho. Now, GuMiho has a very aggressive form of TvP. We recently did feature GuMiho in the GSL qualifiers, and he was hyper aggressive. Pure 2-base all-ins. Pure 2-base all-ins against Hero of all players, by the way. And GuMiho did bring Hero down in those qualifiers. I do recommend the VODs. I recommend, especially if you want to tune into some very short and very intense TvP matchups, including GuMiho, including Hero, including many of the other Terran players involved in that broadcast. Looking at Björn, looking at Kior, looking at Maru especially. God damn it. But hey, we had some shorter games, and I'm leaning towards that here as well. right? With a double gas opener, this means we have a faster factory, faster starport. This does typically lead into something more tech heavy early on. We should be seeing a CC after the factory. This can lead into a one base all in, and we have seen GuMiho one base all in before, but we don't expect that on a large map like this. You know, if we were loading into Whispers of Gold, then it would be viable. El Dorado potentially as well, but here we should slow things down, get a CC after this. But this also leads into maybe Reactor Reaper Hellion. This can lead into early tank drop, early cyclones, or this can lead into early committed Banshee harass as well. We'll see where this leads, as there's that CC on the low ground. Command center is being taken. Back across the map, we have our standard opener, Gate Saber into Nexus. So Gate Saber expand. GuMiho does poke in. Pokes in, pokes out, doesn't quite commit. Behind this, we have our tech of choice, Stargate opener by Lancer. Okay, that I was not expecting. I mean, Lancer, he has his own quirky style of play, and I should also emphasize I'm excited to see Lancer once again, because last time we casted Lancer, what did he do? He took down Maru earlier this year. It's been a couple of months, but again, Lancer did bring Maru down. That was back, I want to say, either Masters Coliseum or actually in LiuLi Cup. He has his own style of doing things, and he does open up Stargate here, which is a bit of a rarer sight nowadays. We had a double Reaper into Widowmine here from GuMiho. We have more Widowmines waddling across the map. One Reaper does slip in, going in for the scout, and we'll see if he can get that scout off, as he does make his way into the main. At the same time, Widowmine is waddling into the natural. He does scout, he does confirm. Is where the Stargate opener. Widowmine waddles in. Laser does react in time. He does pull away. Whew. Oh no! Oh, and he will lose a Stalker in the process. Brutal loss there for Lancer. The Widowmine can waddle out, and then we replace it with another Widowmine. Another one waddles in. Getting one probe, and then we... okay. This time we're going to be shut down. But so far, good trades. So far, one Widowmine for a Stalker and a probe. A better trade here for GuMiho. From here, we are... Of course, he also was able to scout and confirm what was going on. Now, following this up with a 1-1-1, we have a drop towards the main base. And also, that Widowmine can always scuttle in once again. As GuMiho is boosting across the map. Does avoid the army. We have one Widowmine. We have 4 Marines. Phoenix production has begun. So opening up Phoenixes. Oh, sorry, I should say Oracle into Phoenix. GuMiho does drop in. And the mine shot, what does he connect with? Oh no! Oh my god, takes out the Oracle. Oracle goes down, massive pickup. Likewise does graze a couple of probes. 3 workers going to be going down. And barely 4 towards the end. Yeah, 4, 5, almost 6, 7. Jesus. 7 probe kills as we had a mine shot here in the natural. GuMiho just pulling a Lancer apart. Very nice damage. 7 probe kills. The Oracle as well. And back at home, GuMiho is building up. He's building up here. He's getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. Tank production has begun. We have the early Viking to help defend against the Phoenixes. And we can see that it's going to be initially a Phoenix opener, that is true, but we are stopping any additional Phoenix production. And we have Charge on the way instead. Now, checking the vision, GuMiho, he did see the Twilight Council. So he knows. He knows about the ground switch of his opponents. He's aware it's not pure Skytos. It's not going to be Phoenix into Colossus. So GuMiho is aware, and GuMiho already moving in. Does get the double lock on. Double lock on, and does take down the Stalker. I've got 2 Stalkers in the set. Jesus Christ. Calm down, GuMiho, calm down. Cyclones, they pop off, they shut down the Stalkers, they shut down the Sentry as well. The base is forfeit. There's no saving this. The Viking lands, but extra DPS. And Lancer just doesn't have the supply. He just doesn't have the army to deal with this. Likewise, doesn't have the upgrades either. He has no blink, he has no charge. Once again, more lock-ons. Punching their Stalkers. Nexus does go down. There's a lot of momentum here in GuMiho's favor, and he doesn't have to keep pushing. If he wants to, he can back off, get a 3rd CC, and just macro up. Like GuMiho, he doesn't have to commit. He has options. Does have options. From here, GuMiho, he pulls away. Pulls away. Charge is now finally done for Lancer. Retaking his third. He's retaking. Likewise, rotating over towards the third base. Towards GuMiho. So far, delaying the third CC. This is okay damage with the main. He cannot fight the main army. Let's get out of here. He cannot fight head on. Not like this. Sure, he has charge lots, but those are blink with stalkers and vanilla. Has to get out of here. Has to pull away. Third base is saved. Was delayed. And there just aren't enough zealots here. Oh, he does try to engage. Zealots are coming from behind. Not bad. Comes in with a surround. The GuMiho does kite back. Stim is done in 3 seconds. Yeah, this is a premature fight from GuMiho without Stim, but there we go. Stim is complete, and now he's going for the Stalkers. He's going for what little is left. Takes out 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. GG gets called, and GuMiho will take game number 1. GG. Whew. Again, an intense game out of GuMiho. Non-stop aggression from almost the beginning, which is what we expected from GuMiho, especially with his recent tendencies. But very intense, very aggressive, very impressive what he was able to achieve with so little so early on. GG. GG will play. GuMiho does claim it. On the side of Lancer at this point, after game 1, I'm sure he's a little bit more aware of the pace here of GuMiho, and that's where over time can get used to said pace and can of course have some stronger defense. Likewise, we could even see Lancer try to adjust things here and have a stronger offense instead. Stargate opener into charge does hit a lot later. We might see something different here to be more assertive early on. As we are jumping into our next game. I got you. And spawning in the top right hand corner of lane lines, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss. Whew. Down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and tie things up. It is Lancer. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. In the series 1-0, it is GuMiho. We go. The players are going to be settling in and calming things down. Now, last game, we had a double gas opener out of GuMiho that led into very early Widowmine harass, with Widowmine just waddling into the bases, followed up by another Widowmine drop, followed up by just pure aggression out of GuMiho. See how our players adjust. As Lancer does start things off with the scouts, he does check his third, checks the forward for third base as well, just checking for proxies, making sure there's no shenanigans going on. Meanwhile, single gas opener, GuMiho going for a faster CC, a faster command center on the low ground. Okay. So GuMiho settling in, being more economic this time. I do appreciate the change of pace compared to game 1. Again, GuMiho showing that he is willing to spice things up and adjust and try to change his own tempo as well. From here, this should just lead into a 1-1-1. Technically, we could go for a faster second rack, so our eyes are going to be on GuMiho. Likewise, Lancer coming in with the rope scouts. Ooh, is going to be hunted down. And does he get eyes on the CC? Oh, he does not. Ooh, barely not. He was so close. Scouts is denied. Lancer, he doesn't know. It could be a faster CC. It could be a delayed command center. Or there could be just no command center, period. So we have the follow-up. It's going to be a sentry. This makes sense. Does go for the sentry, going with hallucination. It's going to be a later scout, but a scout nonetheless. Meanwhile, there's that 1-1-1. Starport is on the way. Add-on swap into reactor to Hellion production. Now, we'll see if this goes into double Hellion followed by double Reaper into a Reaper drop. Sorry, I would say double Widowmine into a Widowmine drop. Or this could lead into a third and fourth Hellion and go for a Hellion drop instead. So we could see a Hellion drop, could see a Widowmine drop. Oh, never mind. It opens up 2 Hellion into add-on swap into Marine production. Okay. No drop play whatsoever. Going to Cloak Banshee, which is immediately scattered by Lancer. He sees everything. Lancer does confirm the chances of the Cloak Banshee doing damage is now much lower. Back at home is going for Blink Base. Oh no! Blink Base Saber, thankfully, does force field in time. Jesus. Doesn't quite lock down the army, but at least does deny the scats into the natural and does deny any kind of damage. I may have spoken too soon. Reaper does fall. Hellions, they go back into the bases. Oh, this time Lancer not quite in position. He does bust his way into the main. And probes are lining up. Getting 2 probes so far. Getting 3 probes, even 4 probes. Oh, God, God. Getting up to 4 probe kills. Bulwark Zuko down. Lancer taking his 3rd. GuMiho is moving out. Does move out towards the natural. Alas, we're in position. Detection is still on the way. But last Cloak just now finishing up. Oh. Cloak now done. GuMiho backs up. Observer has arrived and lands the defense. And again, we spoke about this. Lancer was able to get a full scout earlier, so the Banshees, they've done nothing so far. Strong defense for Lancer. So GuMiho does move out. Does commit. He's got his Cyclone as his tank, has some bio. Bearing in mind, this is a pusher without stim, so a stimless move out here. He's got a couple of boys to repair. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. Does get a tank shot off. Tank really does connect. Has 2 Banshees that might be protection, but they can one-shot probes. They come in, Lancer out of position. GuMiho, he pulls away with his army, so he was only posturing just to catch any free units, but he doesn't quite commit, thankfully. So GuMiho pulls away, gets ready for his own expansion, setting up still on 2 bases. And the Banshees, they bob, they weave between the bases here. 10, 11 probes go down. Despite being scattered, despite the detection, GuMiho is getting out of hand here. Lancer takes out 1 of those Banshees. At the same time, goes for a massive counterattack, gets 1 tank. Can he get 2? Oh, not quite. Does something fast. 4 Stalkers, they can one-shot SCVs. Oh, God, he's getting caught out, though. And the Stalkers, there's no way out of this. They're being hunted down. One of them does not get away. Oh. As at least the Banshee does fall, but again, these are brutal trades for Lancer. Lancer plummets the supply, bleeding out far too much. That was 8 Stalkers going down. He was able to get a Banshee, able to get a tank, able to get a couple of SCVs. That was not worth it. Bearing in mind, 17 robes have fallen already this game. That was the Hellions alongside the Banshees. The Banshees, even though they went down, they paid for themselves. And Lancer's hurting. Lancer, he needs time to recover. Behind this, working towards Charge, working towards the Bay into Colossus production, but he needs more time. And GuMiho shouldn't give it to him. GuMiho is getting his 3rd season location. He has Stim now. He's waiting for his medevacs. Once the medevacs arrive, he can move out. Here does go for the big on siege. He is pushing out. Now as he moves out, Lancer is moving in, going for the backstab. Not bad. Going to catch a couple of SCVs. Able to delay, able to disrupt the economy here of GuMiho. GuMiho doesn't care. he just commits. There's some reinforcements at home to try to deal with this. 4 SCVs do go down, and oh, Lancer out of position. He's on the low ground. Ta-da! Army sims in. Charge is not yet done. A bit of a premature siege here from GuMiho. That's quite far back. The Colossus is holding its own. GuMiho once again pushing forward. Still a little bit far back. We're building up towards a second Colossus with 2 Colossus. Lancer, he can hold on. Once again, trying to jack the army within position, within range of the tanks. More reinforcements have arrived. 1 tank is at least within range of the Nexus. And here we go. Lancer does commit in. Charge now complete. Get some okay mine shots. Colossus, they just rain down on the bio. And it looks like Lancer should have enough. It's going to be close. The Colossus does barely survive. Whew. It cleans up. Lancer cleans up. He does hold. Bleeding out 6 probes, but he does maintain both Colossus. Just barely. 4 HP. GuMiho scans. He knows how vulnerable this army is. I'm sure he's tempted. She's tempted to dive. Jumping into the main. Nice, snipes the bay. Takes down the bay, denies extendable lance. Another the prism. Prism getting caught out. That would have been a way for Lancer to try to recover here. To counterattack. And again, Lancer is just unfortunately 1 step behind. He's behind economically, which is a terrifying thought here in TvP. Likewise, does have some Colossus, that is true, but the supply just is not there. And GG gets called. Lancer is torn apart, and GuMiho will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG will play it again, and GuMiho does maintain his lead here, does extend it. Lancer, I will say that early on, he was in a decent position when it came to defending against the Cloak Banshee. Like, he was able to scout, able to prepare for it, able to shut it down for the most part. But unfortunately, as the game progressed, despite scouting the Cloak Banshee, they still dealt a hefty amount of damage. They still got 17 probe kills in total alongside the Hellion Harass. Despite being aware, despite being in position, he was still caught off guard, and he was still torn apart. And with that kind of set the pace for the game. We saw that Lancer was able to counterattack at that time and catch like a tank here and there, but it just wasn't worth it. The losses were far too great, and GuMiho was able to snowball from there. Just a really strong early game out of GuMiho to be able to deal that much harassing damage, then followed up with his pushes. GG. GG, well played. With that, GuMiho does take a 2-0 lead, and now we're jumping into game number 3. Jumping into Whistles of Gold. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner. Bottom right hand corner here of Whistles of Gold, we have the blue Protoss player, the Chinese Protoss, down heavily here in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Lancer. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. It is GuMiho. Here we go. As I said, Lin, when it comes to Lancer and his strengths in this matchup, we mentioned earlier he did defeat Maru earlier this year, and he did, but I'll be honest, a lot of that and a lot of Lancer's prowess in PvT, I would say, comes from the mid game. Get this man into a 3-base economy, like at a good timing, in a normal position, without taking too much damage early on, and he can thrive in said mid game with his gateway composition, with Storm, with Colossus. Like, again, we saw him have his way with Maru earlier this year, and I want to believe he can take it to GuMiho as well, but a lot of this comes down to the early game. Like, it's been a rough early game, both in game 1 and in game 2 for Lancer, taking some hefty losses early on. Hopefully he can recover from that. Game 1, it was the Widowmine harass and the drop play Game 2 was the Cloak Banshee and the Hellions. Here in Game 3, hoping we can secure ourselves. But now, Gate Expand, Economic, bit of a greedier start here from Lancer. It is more standard to go for the Cyber Core before Nexus in TvP. So he does cut some corners. Across the map, it is going to be a single gas, Rax, Expand out of GuMiho, CC on the high ground. I mean, GuMiho, he does have a 2-0 lead, so going for the high ground CC makes sense, just playing it safe. He's going to be playing it safe. And this Lancer establishing is natural. Pro Scout does confirm the timing of the CC. Behind this, we have our more delayed factory. Into 111. This time there is no add-on swap, so we're going singular Hellion. This should only be one Hellion to get some scouting information across the map. The earlier Marine production, this might lead into Hellion into Widowmine, into Marine Widowmine drop. So we'll keep an eye on GuMiho. Meanwhile, we'll see what kind of tech Lancer goes for. Every game so far, he has mixed it up, right? Game 1, we saw a Stargate opener. Game 2, we saw Twilight Council with the Blink. Game 3, that is a third Nexus before anything. What the hell? Lancer, count, that is a third Nexus before tech. That's a Gate Expand into Cybercore into third Nexus. This is the greediest build you can ever go for in this matchup. A bar like Nexus, which would never happen. Okay, the Hellion does confirm. So Lancer cutting a lot of corners. This does mean that Lancer, his tech is going to be late. So his Blink, his additional gateways, his additional warpins, that is all delayed. With SimCity, he is safe against Hellion harass. But it's now the pressure is heavily on GuMiho to do something about this. GuMiho, he has to try to break and has to try to punish Lancer in some way. I don't think I've ever seen a player go third Nexus before tech like this. Dude, that is insane. Okay, let's go. Let's go. GuMiho does boost in. Army's in position. But if I'm taking a lot of hits, and the first one shot should be going off here. Oh, barely does connect. Forcing for the fire though. Not bad. Boys are being pulled. Medevac does go down, and with that, Lancer holds. Lancer, he holds, he defends, he bleeds out 2 probes. 2 workers go down as 1 Hellion does get into the natural. Ooh, probes are getting roasted. Okay, 3 getting to 4 worker kills. And nice damage from GuMiho. He does make up for his earlier losses. And this is good, but remember, because of the faster base, that means that even though Lancer lost 4 workers, which typically would have been a decent start for GuMiho, they're being replaced. They're being replaced real fast and real quick. You see GuMiho in the center of the map, Liberator into the main, by a tank towards the center. Let's go. GuMiho, he does rock up, does move out, making his way towards the third. His time to get spotted. Bearing in mind that Lancer, he's not taking gases at the national, not taking gases at the third base. He's going pure charge left. He's going pure charge, and charge is done. And charge is complete. With that, he can collapse all the tanks. And the tanks are going to be going down. He will hold, he will defend. Charge is a really good way to punish aggression, by the way, especially ground-based aggression. Oh, as Liberator does get into the main. But charge is just a very safe way, and it does punish your opponent for being out on the map and being active. So GuMiho gets punished, he has to back up. Lancer moving out. Lancer has gained map control. And GuMiho back at him, what does he have to defend? He has 1 tank on the high ground. Bunker is not yet done, but the tank will deter. GuMiho, he does defend, he does hold. Laser does drop into the main. It drops in at the same time. Storks, they snipe the tank. Tank goes down, warping directly into the main as well. There are no tanks, but there's not many Zelds to work with. Does get 3 SCVs so far. Take down 3 SCVs. Oh! Here, Lancer does pull away. Behind this, he's on a full 3-way saturation. Now taking gases, so with these gases, he can afford further tech. Bay is on the way, so he's going charge into Colossus. And GuMiho, he was unable to punish Lancer. 4th base already on the way as well. The greed here is I say the greed. The opener was insane. And is getting away with so much because of that. But again, a really well thought out follow-up. Like, if GuMiho didn't push with his tanks when he did, like, he would have been in a much better position coming into the mid-game to then go for a 2-base timing. But because GuMiho pushed out early, then the answer did punish. Now GuMiho has Stim, Combat Shields +1. Is moving out. Still a terrifying composition. Let's just pull away. Has to rely on his force fields. Not bad. Locking down the army. Catching out 2 of those Marauders. 1 does survive. Now the Colossus has arrived just in time. Colossus arrives just in time. Aqua's drop here towards left-hand side. Cashing out 6 workers. 6 first go down. It does pull away. Pulls away for oh my god. 10 probe is going to be going down here at the natural. Wouldn't mind shot going off. Wave reactions here out of Lancer. Ay. Now Lancer, he could still sustain some of these losses because of his greedier start. But now down to 61. GuMiho is now getting up to 3-base saturation. Lancer, the pressure is on. And he's just pushing out. He's just moving out at this point. Lancer, he is hurting economically, but he just warps in a wave of Zealots. There are 0 tanks. 0 tanks to defend. Nice force fields, locking down some of the bio. Widowmine's now moving in. Marauders, they tank some shots, they stim on forward. Oh my god, hopping up micro. Nicely done. Saves the Colossus. Does save it. And Lancer, he's done it. He's snowballing out of control. He breaks through the main army, busts into the middle line as well. Boys are being pulled. There's 1 Colossus left. The Prism is a little bit too far back, but GG gets called, and Lancer, he will fight back. He'll put a point on the board. Whew. GG. GG. Well played. A very intense game number 3 here. Again, Lancer with a very unorthodox and very cheeky build. Remember, he went for a 3rd Nexus before 2nd Gateway, before Rover, before Twilight Council, before anything. It was insane just how quickly he had got it. From there, he rushed into charge. He stayed on 2 gases, and he was hoping that GuMiho would be aggressive. He was hoping that GuMiho would move out. Because GuMiho did move out early on, then Lancer was able to punish with that charge timing. With the early charge, he was able to take down 2 tanks and completely shut down GuMiho and gain map control and get away with his opener. GG. GG, well played. Honestly, really well done there by Lancer. Very unique build, but very well thought out when it came to the follow-up especially. And with that, we have a series. We have a back and forth. And now we are loading into Ultra Love. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Chinese Protoss player. God, they keep switching sides every time. Yeah. Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss, leading down in the series, but he does fight back, does put a point on the board. We'll see if he can tie things up. It is Lancer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, leading the series 2-1. And still one game away from advancing onto the grand finals. It is a GuMiho. Here we go. Players are going to be settling in. We're looking to calm things down. Early on, we just see Lancer scouting for proxies, making sure there's no shenanigans afoot. Likewise, GuMiho double gas. Okay, going back to what he does best. Double gas opener out of GuMiho. With this going for a faster factory, delayed TC, a much more aggressive start out of our Red Terran. Meanwhile, gate expand once again. So gate expand into Cyber Core. Once again, a greedier start out of Lancer. And we'll see if he goes into a faster Nexus as well. Again, I can't imagine he'll go for the same opener 2 games in a row, and the same build 2 games in a row, but we'll see. We shall see. As the initial Reaper does move out. Lancer, he does hide his probe. Does keep his probe hidden. Over on the right hand side. Command center is on location. Reaper does poke in. Oh! Does threaten the mineral line. No major kills yet. And Lancer should be able to defend. Is losing 1 probe so far, just the one. Lancer will hold. Back at home, Lancer does come in with the probe scouts. It does confirm the faster factory. The Widow Mine production as well, not Hellion. And this time we do have a standard response. Okay, so this time it is going to be tech structure before a 3rd expansion. Going for a Twilight Council, going for a 2nd gateway. So far 2 gate blink. We could go up to 3 gateways, 4 gateways, or we could stop here and then expand. So Lancer has options. With how wants to follow up. Meanwhile, we have 2 more Raxes on the way for GuMiho. Those are 2 more Raxes before the starport. So hyper aggression here from GuMiho. He can turn this into an all-in. Reaper is going to be zoned away. The 2 probes do go down. Reaper somehow survives in the corner of the map. This is going to be a bit of an earlier starport, so I'm not fully convinced this is a 2-base all-in, but oh no, never mind. Nah, we're gonna send it back. We're gonna send it. As Reaper gets another couple of probe kills, getting it to 4 already, getting it to 5. The positioning here is brutal. The probes, they can't get this around they're looking for, and that's gonna be 6 worker kills. Ay, that is brutal. Brutal damage that should not have happened. GuMiho just now saturating his natural. Here comes the add-on swap. Here comes the medevac support. Okay, so we're moving out. Behind this 2-gate blink, faster robo into a 3rd base. So relatively, I would say still greedy opener here out of Lancer, going to charge. Going into that 3rd. And with that, the charge should be ready here for the push. Should be ready for GuMiho. As GuMiho is still waiting for his medevacs. Again, this is a really peculiar build. Again, the starport is fast. Like, considering the opener going into a fast stim and fast combat shields, it is a much faster starport. into add-on swap into reactor and medevacs. So it's almost like a 2-on-1 timing here. Almost. It's a 3-on-1 clearly. But yeah, this is something you don't really see too often. As GuMiho, yep, the medevacs have arrived. He's moving out. Basically what I'm getting at is that usually we wouldn't see a reactor on the factory, we'd see like a tech lab into tank production, but there was no tech lab, where there was a reactor instead into add-on swap. So the factories are non, it's just not really a part of this. Yeah, there's no factory-based support. Nice force fields once again, locking down GuMiho. And Lancery's fine. Lancery's shutting this down. Picking up more Marauders. Going for the medevac as well. Nice snipe. Medevac goes down. We're down to 3 Marauders. Lancery wants that medevac, but he gets punished for it. In the end, is punished. Nice kiting there with the Marauders, but can cut some shell. GuMiho does hold his own. Once again, Lancer pulling away, trying to make use of any kind of trick when he can. There you go, more Zealot Warpins. Lancer, he's getting up to 3 base economy. Again, no gases. Again, early charge. And again, this punishes aggression, and GuMiho is being aggressive. He's being in his face. Nice mind connections on those Zealots. Despite that, GuMiho bleeding out a lot of his player, a lot of his army. As GuMiho attempts to move out at the same time, third C is cancelled. Third is denied. Cyan claiming a fourth. GuMiho, I don't think he can really break this without some good mind connections. The connections are good. Oh no, the punish. Oh my god. Mind just going up, forcing a better friendly fire. And from here, it looks like GuMiho barely takes his flight, but more warpins are arriving. Lancer holds at the same time. The warpins were across the map. Causing a bit of chaos. Denying some mining. Going for another Zealot Warpin. As Elstec catch up more Marauders. And GuMiho races back home. And Lancer holds. Lancer, he holds on. He denied the third base. 5 SCV kills, and Lancer is getting his 4th up and running. Again, he's getting out of hand, getting out of control. Still very low gas count. Very low gas available here to him, but he's just going to mass charge anyway. +1 is on the way. Immortal as well. And GuMiho, he has to be active like this. He has to push out. And Lancer, depending on where he spends his warpins, he could be in trouble. Back into the main. Nice control. Does save the Zealots. Gets into the mineral line once again. Boys are being pulled. SCV's going to be going down. GuMiho, he commits in. Does go with the sim. There are less Zealots here to defend. Uh-oh. Alright, let's charge lots. Lancer just trying to buy time for extra warpins. Force was a solid friendly fire as well. That was what, 4 Marines going down to the Widow Mine. That was brutal. Lancer is holding. GuMiho finally claiming his 3rd. Finally getting his 3rd base up and running. Lancer needs a little bit more time. He needs extra warpins. I believe the prism did go down. Oh. It's going down, I should say. Blink is done. Once again, catching out the Metamax. Nice blinks because he gets 1. Takes down a Medevac. Trades well against some Marauders. And right now there's a lot of pressure on GuMiho here to try to do some kind of economic damage. Does waddle into the third. Oh. Using one probe. One probe goes down. Here can respond to the army. As he does stim in, forcing a recall even. Everett gets depowered a couple of gateways as well. Nice moves here from GuMiho. Catching Lancer out of position. Moving from here, takes down the Twilight Council, not bad. Marauders trying to engage. Lancer, he's in trouble. He attempts to surround the army, locks down some of the bio. Marauders doing a lot in the back line. 3 Immortals, I should say. Doing a lot in the back line, focusing on as many Marauders as they can. GuMiho bleeding out a lot of supply. Likewise, he's also running out of energy on these medevacs. Running out of energy. Oh. Once again, San trying to focus on as many Marauders as he can. Oh, Maisha going off, takes down the Observer. And Lancer is holding. He's holding on. Repowers his Robo. Bay's on the way for Colossus. Still very intense. GuMiho is just not stopping. Oof. Maybe he should. He's had a couple of medevacs. Expensive losses there for GuMiho. Starbase fully operational. GuMiho, he has a high SCV count, but he is heavily oversaturated. He needs a 4th CC. He needs a 4th base. Matches are going off. The boys are being pulled to defend. And GuMiho, he will focus down all 3 Marauders. Immortals, goddamn. You know what I mean. The Immortals are going to be going down. It's going to cost him 17 SCVs. 21 SCVs. Lancer is not stopping. Going in once again. Now you could argue that despite losing all those workers, we still have, like, I guess, ideal saturation on 3 bases. But GuMiho, he does need a 4th. GuMiho is running out of steam. Down to just overall 1 base economy. Prison back into the main. And GuMiho, he just sends it across the map. So is Lancer. Lancer warping into the main. Likewise hitting the 3rd CC. Forcing GuMiho all in. The Colossus does kite back. Oh my god, takes down a lot of Marines. Oh no, bit of miscontrol, bit of a misclick. Lancer panicking towards the end, but here come the warp ins. They'll say warp in, GG gets called. Lancer, he defends back at home, he attacks across the map, and Lancer ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We are going to the ace match. Once again, a very intense back and forth. Once again, we had Lancer opening up charge, and this is honestly, I feel like, a really solid way to play against GuMiho. As you've seen here in this game and in this series, GuMiho is hyper aggressive, and very often is pushing, whether it's pre-stim or he's just hyper committed here to drop play and to committing to moving out across the map. And going into earlier charge does keep you safe against that sort of stuff. It allows you to take some more efficient trades earlier on, just purely off of mineral income as well. And so far we've had some very nice defenses here from Lancer, trading very efficiently and surviving, right, and getting to longer game states. And GuMiho, he has to calm down a little bit. He has to calm things down, especially against this kind of style from Lancer. Otherwise, he's just kind of playing into Lancer's hands. Playing into his hands. And here we go. We're now getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, being forced into the ace match. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing himself. Going teamless, it is Lancer. Here we go. As we are settling in and calming things down. And we'll see if GuMiho goes for a more economic start. Again, GuMiho has been hyper aggressive in these past, throughout the entire series here, and I do really like how Lancer has been able to adjust to him, has been able to adapt. But now we're loading into Frostline. Frostline is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Long rushes by ground is a longer rush distance. And I would hope to see GuMiho take things slower here. Go. Marine Marauder medevac. That is like the kind of bread and butter of Terran. Like unless you're asking for a mech. Like, how dare GuMiho not make Cyclones and Hellions? True. GuMiho, he is one of the few players out there that is willing to play mech in this matchup. That is, you're not wrong when it comes to that. Does like to mix it in. And does it quite well at the highest level of play. Loading into a larger map, I wouldn't actually be opposed to mech here, I suppose. Wouldn't be opposed to it, but we'll see. For now, we do have a single gas opener, so we're going for a more economic start. GuMiho going for a Rax expand into reactor. Twilight Council opener out of Lancer. Not going for a faster third. So now we're settling in. GuMiho setting up for a 1-1-1. Going for the add-on swap. From here, we can go into Reactored Hellion, into committed Hellion production. We can go into Reactored Widowmine. For now, Hellion's on the way. We'll see if he commits. As GuMiho, he is once again going for a very early move out. Okay, so talk about early pushes. I'm like, yo, maybe GuMiho should calm down. And meanwhile, GuMiho is like, you know what? I should hit before any upgrades at all. True. Here we go. So it is 6 Marines. 6 Marines do waddle out across the map. Back at home, there is a safety shield battery. Lance is fine. Lance is fine. If he skipped the shield battery, then he'd be in trouble here, but he did open up safely. GuMiho pokes in. Shield battery is revealed, and GuMiho, oh god, he's going for it. He's going for the mineral line. Oh, gonna get one. He cannot, no. GuMiho, he will get one probe. Hellions and rush. Oh my god, they rush past the probes. No, they're lighting up. The probes are lighting up, and now damage is being done, and now it's worth it. The initial Marine run by was not, but the Hellions, they roast up 5 workers. Whew. And he's not done. Going Reactored Hellion into Reactored Widowmine. Widowmine drop is on the way. A decent start for GuMiho. Did cost him a lot of Marines early on. That is true. That is going to lessen his mid game. That is going to weaken his mid game. But alas, GuMiho popping off, shuts down the Adept, dropping into the main. So towards the main base. GuMiho boosting pass. Does boost pass, will unload. Medevac is going to be targeted down. That's going to be 4 Widowmines headed for the mineral line here. Lancer does pull away. So far, so good. Oh, god. Does pull away. Despite that, 4 probes going to be going down. But only 4. The Observer is here, and with that, Lancer does clean up. Now, I say only 4. Throughout the course of this game, it is going to be 9 probe kills here. 9 workers have gone down. This damage does add up over time. Lancer, he has to counterattack. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have a 3-1-1 setup. The tank count is amassing. And what's important here is what we mentioned previously. GuMiho, he's not pushing with his early tanks. He's being more defensive. He's setting up to receive what comes next. You know, Lancer, he's on 4-gate blink. Oh my god. So 4-gate blink Stalker out of Lancer. The Prism is on the way. So far, nice repairs here on the bunker. Nice repair. Lancer going for a late third base in favor of this gateway explosion. Lancer, he has gained map control, but Lancer, he needs to trade with this arm. Or I say trade, he needs to pick off tanks, he needs to pick off bunkers. He needs to gain value with this. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Right, going for the bunker, one more volley. Bunker goes down, and going for the tank as well, not bad. Nice control, saving some of those stalkers. Does blink back. Oh my, oh, the target firing though. And that's target firing there out of GuMiho. Picking up 4 stalkers for 8 SCVs. GuMiho does reposition. Lancer keeps warping in. And Lancer looks like he wants to dive. Oh, does blink in. Bleeds out 2, 3 stalkers. Oh god, the stalker, no! Stalkers get punished. That's one, another 4 stalkers going down. As the Liberator does arrive. Heading into the bases. Does it into the bases. Does threaten the natural. Stalkers that catch a couple of SCVs. Now, on one hand, at least Lancer's on 3 bases, that is true, but because of all the economic damage, his probe count is still very low. It's a very low probe count. And of course, because of the initial blink-based opener, now this time there is no charge. This time there's no way to punish GuMiho for pushing. I say that does drop into the natural. Does drop in. We'll delay some reinforcements, so GuMiho, he sends everything across the map. GuMiho, he breaks out. And again, GuMiho looking a lot more comfortable here compared to the previous games. GuMiho pushing in, forcing back the stalkers, catching out one of the immortals. Again, the 4-gate blink aggression of the Lancer just wasn't worth it. Just did not do enough damage. He needed more, and he didn't get it. Did not get it. Tanks and Liberators, they zone away the main army. Robo gets Z-powered. Natural's under fire. And GuMiho just rallying everything across the map. Oh, here comes the dive. Oh, blinks in. He does get one of the tanks. He gets 1 tank. Only 1 tank. The Liberator survives. The second tank as well. GG gets called, and GuMiho, he will snowball out of control. He will take the series 3-2. He will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, GuMiho. He will claim the series. He will advance on. A very intense back and forth, and shout out to Lancer for adjusting and adapting to GuMiho, even having some quirky builds as well. Remember, there was that one game where Lancer went for the 3rd Nexus before tech, before 2nd gateway. It was crazy. That was on Whispers of Gold. That was the highlight for me when it comes to the series. And again, just really charge heavy play, punishing the aggression of GuMiho. Unfortunately, this time did decide to open up 4-gate blink, and it's such a committed way to play. Players are curious, 4-gate blink Stalker, it delays your third quite heavily in favor of warping across the map, in favor of breaking your opponent and dealing critical damage. I'm referring to sniping tanks, sniping bunkers, sniping tech, getting SCV kills. And he was able to get a tank, he was able to get a bunker, but he was punished so hard. He was beating out so many stalkers in the process where it just didn't become worth it. GG. GG, well played. Again, in general, 4-gate blink Stalker has been phased out of the meta and phased out of popularity amongst the players. It isn't really seen too often anymore, just because players have gotten so good at defending against it. It was very meta and very trendy a year ago, but because Terrans became so used to, so accustomed to defending against it and shutting it down, it's not as viable anymore. Likewise, maps are also influenced as well. But with that, GG well played. GuMiho will take the series 3-2, and now we are getting ready for our next best of 5 of the broadcast. We're getting ready for Scarlet versus Jeshi. Let's go. Let us go.